And on our downforce, so in that field, you see that there's red and there's green. The dark green is 0 pounds of margin. The dark red is over 150 pounds of margin. So you can see that with each pass of that field, our downforce ranged within in excess of 150 pounds. Now, that was setting the spring to the right notch and just planting the field within that notch. We couldn't remove any because if we would have lost ground contact. Now, so there was a lot of variation there. In 2009, our engineers decided that there was enough variation in downforce with that data from the load pin sensor that they decided to design a system called Air Force. And Air Force was automatically controlling air into the airbag and out of the airbag, adding and venting every 1 second to manage weight applied to the row unit. So you can see in the Air Force field, we minimized that variation by quite a bit, but we still had some red and some green in there. So after 2009, Derek Souter, the engineer at that time, said, Doug, we saw enough variation within the real load pin readings that we knew that the only way we were going to really fix it beyond airbags was to go to individual row hydraulic control. So in 2013, they come out with Delta Force, and you can see that on Zimmerman's Bottoms field, what we were able to do in 2013 compared to 2008 was dramatically different in depth consistency, compaction, minimization, and emergence coming out of that field was also right along with it. So what we see is a history at Precision Planting, that we have a sensor, we measure something, we take it to the computer, it gives our engineers a flashlight, a light to look at, and then they start to go down that path. This is Corey Mulbauer in the field. And our engineers, back then we had 4 engineers. Today we have 50. What's next? And I'm going to turn it over now to Ryan Algier. He's the 2020 lead.
Thanks, Doug. So I'm part of the engineering team here at Precision Planting and have responsibility for the 2020. One of the really cool things that I've seen here at Precision Planting is seeing the 2020 as it grows and changes and evolves throughout the time. And back in 2006, when we were first building the 2020, we started with something called SVS, the Seed Vision System. It's actually over here to the right. It still actually works and lights up, as you can see. But that was 2006. That was what we called Seed Vision System, and actually those letters, SVS, still exist in the code today. We actually really like the fact that we remember the first time that we started doing this thing, getting into looking at the seeds. This is actually number 36 of the 2020 family that ever got produced. It's really exciting to actually have it here in front of us today. So in engineering, even though we first released 2020 back in 2008, we started developing it in 2006. So 2006, we did some engineering, nothing released. 2007, more engineering, nothing released. And in 2008, we released 2020 with the smart connector. That smart connector, I'm going to just put it down there under the 2008 column. That was the combination that we supported, a smart connector and a 2020. But we kept going. 2009, we saw Air Force. 2010, row flow. 2011, wave vision. 2012, field view and the field view module. 2013, yield sense. And those pieces, they glued together in various ways. We understood that not everybody ran the exact same planter. Everybody had a different planter. We wanted to make sure that the technology we built fit your planter, and whatever made sense for you, we wanted to make sure that those technologies could glue together for whatever made sense on your operation and in your practices. We realized that to be true, and that's how when we built the next series of products, we wanted to be, that to be true. So the right screen is actually behind a little bit. Next is actually previous, looks like. Okay. One back, I think, on next. Okay. So in 2014, we released V-Drive and Delta Force. V-Drive and Delta Force were the first part of the SRM system, and you could build those in whatever way made sense for you and your planter as well. Same thing with the next year, VSET Select and Speed Tube. You could choose to use Speed Tube, you could choose not to. The next year, other products, vApply. Now we're into the new